Hello everyone, this is Grimith. In case you've somehow forgotten my identity, I said in last week's update video, after I returned from Colorado, that I would do another update video at the start of this week. Well, here we are. Let's get started. Fallout Tactics. I got less than 3 hours left in fulfilling Tiny Shopkeeper's request. I've got mixed feelings about the game overall, but I did really enjoy last mission. I feel that the user interface is dated, I feel that the engine is dated. The game is several years old. I don't think it's aged well. I just don't think the game is really designed for enjoyable squad tactical management. That said, I enjoyed the Quincy mission's detail. I also liked being able to use hotkeys. I hadn't been able to use them so far in this series due to just, I don't know, whims of how I'm recording the game. It's an inefficient monitor capture. It's the only way I could really effectively capture the game, and it broke, like, my mouse over tooltips. It broke my hotkeys. Well, somehow I've managed to fix that and make it better just through all of the fiddling I've done recently. Those factors combined together to make the game an enjoyable experience for me. Quincy Mission's been my favorite one thus far. And I'm looking forward to going back to that game and finishing my time with it. I won't be finishing Fallout Tactics, but I will finish my time with it. And I expect that to be done before the end of this year. I know, great. Demon's Crest. Just started that several days ago. It is a game I'm familiar with. It is a game I do enjoy. Not that many people are familiar with it in the States. The game got a limited release here, if memory serves. And it's like the third part of like a trilogy, like a Gargoyles Quest thing, and it's based off an enemy, whatever. I talked about that story detail in the first video, Demon's Crest. I will be recording more of that actually after I stop this update video. I'm looking forward to playing that too. I'm a little rusty, and my PlayStation 2 controller's not quite as effective as the Super Nintendo controller. But I like the game, and I'm cool with sharing it with you folks. And so there's that to look forward to. I will be starting another local recording series after Fallout Tactics is done, and it's going to be another squad management game. It's going to be OpenXcom. It's going to be XCOM UFO Defense, just run with OpenXcom. That's not a game that I really enjoy. I've certainly played it and beaten it before. I could say I've beaten it on superhuman difficulty, back in the 90s, but we all know that the difficulty got reset back to beginner peasant baby mode due to the bug that existed in the game. Yeah, I think even with OpenXcom's updates, it's not a game I particularly enjoy. But I'll be playing it. It is a 15-hour request. I'm certainly not going to be finishing the game within that time span. But I will be playing it. I feel as if there have been so many videos of that shared by so many other broadcasters that pretty much everything that has to be said about the game one way or the other has been exhausted by broadcasters and by commenters. And as much as some people fawn over my input, I have nothing to bring to the table other than acidity and sarcasm. So yeah, I'm not exceptional at the game, but I am serviceable, and I will be fiddling around with that. I don't know if I'm going to do any sort of conduct thing whenever I tackle OpenXcom, but that will be coming up, so if you're into squad management, woohoo! And if you're not, hopefully you enjoy Demon's Crest. Or some of the live broadcasts that I've been doing, which is the primary feature of this update video. That takes care of the upcoming local stuff. Let's talk about live broadcasting things. Now, in last week's update video, I said that for this one, I would announce, like, times where I would test out my broadcasting services. You can come in and say hi and hello, whatever. Well, I'm a mercurial individual. I fucking changed my mind. I did all that shit last week. I just got so wrapped up and excited about fiddling with my hardware and my internet and with live streaming services that I just did it all last week. So if you missed, like, the announcement videos or you missed the two YouTube live streams I did, congratulations. It was just a whirlwind of activity, and it's a good sign, actually, that I wanted to do something earlier. Rather than just like putting it off until this week. I finished reading all of the old YouTube comments and messages and, that I missed. I got all of that taken care of, and I just got immersed within doing this, which I think is a pretty good sign. What isn't a good sign is YouTube live streaming. Now, it's in the beta. But, man, the user interface for YouTube live broadcasting is trash. I heartily do not recommend using YouTube live broadcasting if you actually care about viewer interactivity, or really a quality live broadcast. I think the feature YouTube live broadcasting has is that it's here on YouTube, where my recordings, almost all my recordings, end up anyway, and so it has that convenience feature, but I just don't like the service. It's a user interface thing, it's an interactivity thing, I think chat looks like garbage, it doesn't have a whole lot of what I wanted to do whenever I live broadcast. And so, I'd readily kick this to the curb, but a viewer suggested that I still use event cards to notify you all of live broadcasts I will be doing on other services. That way I'm not spamming you all with update videos, because I mentioned that as a concern. That's why I typically don't push videos saying, hey, I'm going to be live broadcasting at a time. I just think that's fucking clutter. I think it's obnoxious. But there you go. That's how I feel about that. Twitch is about the same as when I stopped using it 2.5 years ago. It's venerable, it's fairly stable, it's got an obnoxious Twitch culture in the background, with fuck tons of emote spam, like your shitty kappas or whatever. I mean, look at all these damn emotes, and that's not even counting, like, subscriber emotes for what you've got. Whenever I switched away from Twitch to Hitbox 2.5 years ago in the pursuit of viewer interactivity. I just don't think Twitch really promotes that. Okay, let me rephrase that. Twitch certainly has plenty of viewer interactivity, but it doesn't have the viewer interactivity that I'm looking for whenever I live broadcast. It's just not the interface or feature that I like. Now, there's a beta switch that I flipped on like the Twitch settings, which is one that exists in YouTube settings as well, which is like, it reduces chat delay, but threatens to increase buffering. And I thought that made Twitch more usable, more serviceable, but I noticed quite a few complaints and experiences with my viewers involving, like, some ad-blocking software they were using, and the ability to view Twitch broadcast. I'm not going to get into the detailed nuances here, I've never had that problem, but I am attentive of viewers who have those problems. Like I was attentive of so many folks who couldn't actually come along with me to Hitbox because of the issues we had there in Hitbox. And I'm not going to rehash the Hitbox issues I've had. I covered those in an update video last month. So there's that. So that takes us to Beam, which is what I'm going to be using with broadcasting moving forward for the foreseeable future until I see something better. Beam has a very minimal chat delay. Even using the slower protocol I was using for stability, chat delay is between 2 and 5 seconds, and it was on the lower end of that scale. I have a faster than light protocol, which I'm not using, that can have chat delay of 0.2 seconds. I do like the interface. There's some minor aesthetics about Beam that I dislike. But those are basically fucking negotiable. Like, I can just discard them or fucking deal with them or cope with them in some fashion. But I do like Beam. The primary thing I care about whenever I do live broadcasts is the viewer interactivity. It is that quick response time between the viewers and the live broadcaster. And Beam, of the services that I tried last week, is the one that supports that the most. There's even like an interactive function where I could code like soundboards or game controls. They even have like a few inbuilt things, so if I played Surgeon Simulator, I could display some controls and viewers could play Surgeon Simulator instead of me actually playing it. I'm not going to be fiddling much with that stuff, if at all. I enjoy the other aspects of the live broadcast interactive experience without giving you folks a soundboard or control over my game or a drone in my room or whatever the case might be. But Beam is a smaller, tight-knit community. Not a whole lot of business that happens here. Servers, as far as I could tell, are really stable. It does have a few quirks about it. There's a memory leak that some viewers experience while watching me on Beam. I have a very tiny, minuscule memory leak, but it's there. And some folks reported not having that issue at all. It's existed in Beam for a few months. As far as I know, they're still working on it. But yeah, with that in mind, that I am going to be broadcasting here, I suppose it's time for me to announce that I'm going to be doing live broadcasts more regularly. I've even got a schedule in mind. I know, that's terrifying, but I think it's a good sign for me, as well as for you all, that I'm feeling good enough and hopeful enough to return to local recordings and live broadcasting on a regular basis. Yeah, I guess that kind of means that, I'm not half-assing, just dipping my toes in returning back to this hobby, to my YouTube channel. I'm flinging myself into it once again. As a result, I have created a schedule of things to look forward to. These times are all in North American Eastern Standard Time, so you'll have to convert them yourself. They'll all be on Beam. I plan on continuing the Linguist playthrough of Daggerfall. I plan on playing some more Cook Serve Delicious. As little of that game is left. I plan on resuming my Civ 4 run of Brennus and his fucking elephants. There was a rather meaty declaration of war at the end of last video from Bakal, and it's basically for control over who wins the game. And then I'm looking to start the Plutonia experiment with Brutal Doom. Next week, after Christmas, I'm looking to do some Grimpocalypses. Yep, some large-scale live broadcasting, where I will play a plethora of games. I haven't done a marathon in some time. It's for no special event, even though the color coding there is special event. I suppose, other than me feeling well enough to want to do that. And, as for the games I'll be playing or any specific schedule there, one doesn't exist. I might post one on my Beam page closer to the event itself to give you folks an indication of what games I'll be playing. But, for these sorts of things, you know, I might fucking start at like 6 a.m. my time, might start at like 8, basically whenever I fucking, wake up and I feel ready to broadcast, and it will continue until I'm past being bone tired. So it doesn't have like a 12-hour, like a 16-hour, or like a 24-hour fucking limit. I'm just gonna go until I'm exhausted. And I'll be playing whatever my fancy is for however long I fancy it. Alright? So that's stuff to look forward to. And, I will be continuing to do local recordings as well, like stuff that's not live broadcasted, so you don't have to fret about me just being thoroughly consumed only with live broadcasting, which I'm not. There's some games that I think do benefit just by me being able to fully focus on it while, doing a local talking. And there's some games that I think are enhanced or my enjoyment is improved by having a live chat there on display. I do like live broadcasting. I like the viewer interactivity there. I really like the quick feedback and responses. I like carrying on conversations, which has become increasingly harder to do on YouTube due to all the various changes and revamps and meshes that they've done with the Google Plus system and how comments are now. It's become increasingly harder to do. And I like these conversations that we have. Anyway, that takes care of this update video. Hope you folks have been informed. If you've got any more questions, do feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll address them as I can, if they have not been already addressed somewhere else. And if you see questions that I haven't gotten around to answering for whatever reason in the comments, do feel free to reply to each other and help one another. That, of course, is something that I encourage on my channel. It's always good whenever you help each other. Although, do keep in mind that I'm not your search engine. I'm also not your secretary. So if it's something that you could easily look up through like a Google thing, you know, I'm not fucking tech support. As much as I would love to know everything. And as much as I might give on the airs that I do know everything, I simply don't. I'm ignorant about quite a bit. And I also like to save some time, and if it's been answered better somewhere else that you could easily access, I don't know. But we'll see. Feel free to interact. Talk to you folks later. Take care.